Yo, what's cracking, everybody? It's your boy Big JD right here. Getting through it, man. Getting through it. As you can see, I look like Mr. Magoo right now. Then I had a chance to really mess up my hair. I shaved my face and try to make myself look presentable for eviction court, of which today is the deadline for me to raise $800 at least to pay a month's rent so that I'm not thrown out on my ass tomorrow. Because I made an agreement that I would come up with at least $800 today, and then again next Friday, and then the following Friday, until I'm all caught up, because I guaranteed that I could get it done. And the condition that I'm in is the way I'm feeling, the constant changing of the weather. Well, here I am, begging like Reagan. Begging like JD. At least that's what a lot of people look at it as. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I need you guys' help. I got to make this rent, or like I agreed, I'm getting kicked out onto the streets, not to exclude holidays or weekends. Tomorrow, they'll be kicking me out of my derriere, and that's real deal. So, to really explain kind of what has been going on with me, a lot of people had a lot of assumptions. A lot of people had a lot of their thoughts, their theories, and everything else. But unless you actually are a fly on the wall, or you know exactly what's going on, like basically you possess my body or something, or you have some kind of a eye in the sky like Big Brother watching my every move 24/7 all this time, then you really don't know what I've been going through. And this is something that can happen to any of us. And it just so happened that it happened to me, and I never thought that I would succumb to such a drastic downfall. I prepared a teleprompter, as you can see, because I didn't want to miss any points. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. This is what I wrote. So I wrote, so I got to get this off my chest, and I pray that everybody listens carefully, because this could be anybody's story, especially those of us who were formerly incarcerated. I thought I had everything under control. I became so complacent, so caught up in the cognitive mode of dissonance, that I believed that I was untouchable regardless what was going on around me, the very fragile state of my being. I am now starting to climb up out of an extreme form of depression, PTSD, and self-loathing that has created a form of hell that I lived in for many, many months, a couple years now. So much to the point that I completely lost touch with reality in time, isolated myself from family and friends, from all of you, from YouTube, and I completely lost touch with everything. Most importantly, the purpose of my life. If it should ever continue, there was no or person that created this horrendous state of mind, but it was a combination of several factors, mostly internally, and how I process things from the external world into mental pictures driven by delusion, illness, and fatigue. As if I was in a coma, I was locked in a state of mental and physical decline, to the point to where I'm just now getting out of this close, fatal dance with death. Let me explain. As the new year came upon us, I found out just how fragile my health would become when I suffered a minor stroke. If you can sort of see, you can sort of see it on one side of my face. Kind of sags just a little bit. Kind of hard to talk sometimes. But luckily, that's just about the extent of it for now. This was at the end of January, when I was pretty much trying to nurse myself up out of this, because it was pretty scary. I mean, I almost felt like I was paralyzed. I can't even really describe to you what it feels like. It's just, I guess you have to experience it yourself. But at the end of January, as I was still feeling the effects of this minor stroke, and everything else, my whole body was just breaking down. My landlord knocked at my door at the end of January and served me with a notice: either pay or quit the lease. Now, I was already applying for housing disability funding for my rent, and I thought I was covered, but I was wrong. And there are a couple of people that dropped the ball as well and didn't inform me that January wasn't going to be covered. At the end of January, I was told this. And so now I had to scramble around and figure out how I was going to take care of that. At the same time, guess what? Since it was January 28th, February 1st was on the horizon, and guess what that meant? A whole nother month. So just like that, I was $1,600 in the hole. And I was basically, I didn't know what to do. So I was in the early process of filing for disability and all that such. I had to put that on the back burner to go out and get a job. Odd jobs. Basically, I will, stand out in front of a Home Depot type of stuff. Work for under the table cash. So I approached this guy who was doing a job, and I'm not going to put him out there. I'm not going to put him on blast. I'm not going to ruin his business and all that stuff like that. Because I'm going to stick to the belief that karma will get him. Doubtful, but I guess I just got to subscribe to that for a little while. But I told him, I will work for you for free for 3 days. If you don't like the way I work, then you don't owe me nothing. Well, I outperformed his other laborers that he had. And now, mind you, these laborers were 15 and 20 years younger than me. And I still outperformed them with a stroke in freezing cold temperatures, hands frozen solid, all that. And I still beat them out because this is how I roll. Because I get down. When I work, I work. Well, this dude decided he wasn't going to pay me. I mean, how often does that happen? You'd think that integrity and all these things would kick in, but it didn't. Didn't do shit. This dude wasn't paying. So I went out and got sold another pipe dream and was helping somebody tear down this shed or something like that. And I mean, we're talking mold and asbestos flying around in freezing cold temperatures once again, to the point to where the dude forgot that I was even out there, and I was stuck out there. And I didn't have a phone because for many months I just disconnected myself from damn near everything that was social media related. I didn't even want to hear it. If I wasn't listening to music, I wasn't even paying attention to YouTube or none of that stuff. So I ended up catching what can be described only as like walking pneumonia or something. And I've had pneumonia before. And I've lost a lot of weight. And I've went through all the battles, sweated out. Had an eviction hearing coming up on Wednesday, the 13th of March, and I couldn't miss it. So I'll be damned if I was going to go to the hospital. And I didn't go. But I nursed myself back to health with the help of some antibiotics and whatnots, oranges and plums and dates and everything else of healing value, pomegranates, juice, water, vaporizers, inhalers, everything to bring me back to life. And I sweat it out for the most part. Still going through it, but it's, put it to you like this, man, I'm built like a tank. And I went to that hearing on Wednesday. And they didn't want to give me no kind of state of grace. They didn't want to let's just part ways or anything like that. They want paid. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'd be the same way. I'm just a simple tenant who's so insignificant in those people's lives that I'm just a dollar sign. And if I'm not producing those dollars, then I'm basically worthless to them. Pure and simple. Now, I could go out there and bust my ass and work hard and get a job doing whatever it is, because, sky's the limit for me. I know I can pretty much do anything I want. I put my mind to it. But am I physically capable of that? No, I am not. I know what my limitations are right now. And you can talk all you want to talk. You can come up with, like I said, you can be negative. You can make me look this small to make yourself appear to be that much bigger than me or better than me. I don't care. Whatever makes you sleep better at night without melatonin or alcohol or anything else, or the tears on your pillow, Don't matter. Because I'm not going to let the world treat me as a doormat any longer. I went through that for 2 long years. Let the world walk all over me. Rain dance and river dance and moonwalk all over me. Running Man, all that shit. Like a doormat. It ain't happening no longer. Because I'm bouncing back. And I'm creeping up out of this hell right here. And guess what? I went to the best that the devil had to offer in hell. You know what I did? Stuck my middle finger up to him and smiled and told him to eat my shorts. And I'm back. Now I don't know what I gotta do to entertain, to get people to pull out a couple of bucks out of their pocket somewhere, donate some blood. I don't know. You want me to swallow swords, river dance, tap dance, sing, karaoke for you, teach my cat how to do the Macarena? I don't know. But I know I need to come up with $800 today. Or I'm going to be looking at the streets tomorrow. And then it ain't going to matter if I do content or not, because I won't have nothing to do content on. Because I'll virtually be kicked right the fuck up out this house. And that's real deal Holyfield right there. Oklahoma has some of the most horrendous laws when it comes to rentals, people that rent, tenant renters, and all that stuff. You're basically just scum if you're not paying. And you will be exiled up out of your domain. Lickety split. Now I'm going to list a GoFundMe right here on this video. Give what you can, please. I'm going to go live on YouTube later. And I'm going to listen to all the rhetoric and all the negativity and everything like that. But it don't matter. Because I am swallowing my pride once again. And there's been a couple of times where I've come and asked you for help. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. But it's something that has to be done. Because I've tried, people. I've tried to go out there and get my old decrepit body to work. But I'm 50 years old now, or going to be here in a few weeks. And I did all that I could do. I can either sit here and fight it out with the sheriff like it's the Alamo, or I can hang my head down and walk out that door with nothing. And be out there in the freezing ass cold bushes that I so dreaded so many times before in the past. Just asking for a little help. That's all. Help me get out of this shit. And then I can get back on track and get back to doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Producing books, establishing a nonprofit, kicking up dust and making everybody mad on YouTube. But I can't do it without your help. Thank you for listening to me.